Hi, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo, and I want to help you get your mojo back. Today, we're going to be talking about Pluto entering Aquarius until 2043, next 19 plus years, depending on retrogrades and where it is in your chart. That depends on your chart. So, what we're going to talk about today is the basic definition of Pluto. I was playing with these cards right now, and this is the Heavenly Body Astrology by Lily Ashwell. And while I was distracted from you, the Uranus card came out. And that is a radical change. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at. And then I pulled the Taurus card, which I'm not surprised. This Uranus is in Taurus right now. Isn't that amazing? And Uranus rules Aquarius. So trust, patience, and sensuality. So we want to be feeling things during this time frame. We're going to feel the jolt. And the jolt is, oh my gosh, something has to change. This is Pluto, by the way, a image from NASA. Does it look like a heart right there, heart shape? So Pluto, in astrology, Pluto represents TNT for the psyche, the core of your unconscious self. Pluto represents the part of you that, and because the planets don't do anything to you, okay? So let's take back our power. Pluto represents the part of us that is searching for freedom, that wants to overcome the fear that we have created just from living in our environment. Now, if you're familiar with epigenetics, it's where your environment alters your reality because of whatever your response or reaction is to it. You want to make sure that, number one, during the Pluto in Aquarius phase, that you are paying attention to how you feel. That's key. And not to go to a place of fear, but to question, oh, why am I feeling like this? If anything is less than positive, neutral to positive, we want to look at, why am I feeling like this right now? And is it because I'm in danger because of them or it, or I just am uncomfortable, or I want something different? Because we're going to be searching for freedom for the next 19 plus years. And depending on where Pluto in Aquarius is in your chart, let me show you this. This is just a general chart, and this is a general read. I kept Mars in place because right now it is trining the sun, positive angle from sun to Pluto, and Pluto to Mars tension. So what this tells me is there's a lot going on all the time. It's life, but we have this ability to overcome many things. Now, history repeats itself all the time. People go to extremes to change something, but that something isn't the issue. Your approach and chatter around that something is the issue. So if you need to be freed up from one of your judgments, one of your fears, what better time than with Pluto entering the constellation of Aquarius on November 20th through 2043. Now, if you're a Capricorn, sun, rising, or moon, you're giving people the high five and you're jumping up and down because Pluto just is about to leave your sign. And that marks a time of a 20-year period of absolute mind-blowing transformation, right? Yeah, Capricorn rising here. Okay, mind has been blown, and I am better for it because of what I have allowed myself to alter. We don't want to stay in the same place all the time. We have to keep moving. Energy knows no boundaries. It doesn't stop moving. There's the particle, that's the thought, and there's the wave, and that is the quantum. That is pure conscious love, what some people call God. And if we are connecting to our nature, in biological terms, we have to find shelter, nourishing food, hydration, all that stuff from the elements, take care of our body. Now is when we start to merge the two, the biology merging with divinity. With Pluto and Aquarius, now some people who are steadfast in their ways and don't want to change or think about, oh, remember when times were better? Remember when, I miss the old days when, I don't you see, think about anything from depending on your age, from what you grew up with. Kids played on the street till sunset or even after. Nobody was out there micromanaging. There weren't play dates. There was just, hey, you hook up with the people on the block. And I don't mean that in that sense for some people, Gen Zs and Gen Xs. I'm talking about you're there, you're doing your thing. And, everyone was smoking at the kitchen table or drinking beer or giving it to kids. Here's some whiskey. It'll stop your toothache. So the times have changed, people's minds are changing, but one thing that stays the same, and that is you are pure conscious love. And what do you want to do with that energy? So I'm going to go through briefly what it looks like for the signs, aside from the fact that we're having a couple of transformational, constellational, is that a word? Things. Saturn is currently retrograde, and it represents authority, also karmic energy. And karma is not good or bad. It's just dharma is the path, karma is the action on the path. But Saturn represents the authority plus the restriction, and it's like the structure of things. The law, the adult, the masculine energy, the parent, the grandparent, the do what's right. The systems that we have developed are now about to crumble. And as we move into 2025, we're going to see more re-evolution. And my husband said to me, "You mean revolution?" I go, "For some people, yes." And he said, "Revolution usually entails violence." And I said, "For some people, yes." So the people who are holding steadfast to their belief systems and won't let go, stop that pattern, they're going to experience massive transformation. And whether you're in a body or off planet, you are transforming. So if you're on an oxygen mask and you stop to take a puff, okay, that's your choice. There's no judgment on this end. But your body is going to free you by stopping its function on some level. We're shifting function because Pluto represents that core transformation, yes, but it also, in Aquarius, has that feel of, I don't want to call it urgency, but for some people it will be. And it's like, oh my gosh, I just got a diagnosis. I was not expecting that. Or they were the healthiest person in the world. How did that happen to them? Or I can't believe we have our rights being taken away from us. Wait a second, right? So it's like a little bit of a jostle, a little bit of a tap on the shoulder, a little bit of a wake up call with Pluto entering into Aquarius. You're no longer going to fall asleep. Now, for the people who do stay asleep, they might actually leave the earth sooner than you would want them to, or that you would think that they would leave. And again, there's no judgment on this. It's just a process of evolution and the re-evolution of a person who says, yeah, I'll diet tomorrow. Okay, well, your cholesterol's off the charts, or and it's about finding the truth in information. Now, your reality is not going to be somebody else's reality. So if you stand there with a sign on the street corner and go, you better do this or else, that's not helpful. Let's just say it that way. It's not helpful. So with Pluto and Aquarius, and again, the planets are not doing anything to us. We are influenced by everything. That's epigenetics. If you don't like a hot climate, move to a cooler climate. But the hot climate is going to frustrate you. You will change your behavior. That's already been proven scientifically. So the thoughts that you think that limit you are going to increase so that they are glaringly apparent in order for you to transform. That is the purpose of Pluto in Aquarius. Now, Saturn's going to go direct, as I said, on November 15th. That's tomorrow. So we're already feeling that. You might feel, oh, chugga chugga, I got to get moving on a process, a project, that paperwork, or calling back the insurance company or whatever, something practical. When Pluto goes direct on the 20th, it's just less than a week away, right? And it enters Aquarius. There are going to be some experiences globally that are going to blow people's minds. Like what, Elaine? Well, it's going to be revealed over the next 20 years. But when I find in astrology that when a planet enters a retrograde or a forward motion called station direct, or enters a different constellation, an awareness, it's like people have ahas. Things are revealed. And so what I think is we're going to see more of is, oh, they've been poisoning us by putting something in the whatever, and we've been eating it. I mean, we've been hearing about this more and more, but the more you hear about it, because Uranus guides Aquarius, and Pluto in Aquarius is going to core with, well, let me back up. Uranus also in Aquarius represents science, technology, finances, and money's going to change. Money is going to change. We may see the end of pennies and nickels and dimes in the next 20 years. The value of things will change always, but it's cyclical. Used to be people paid in products and goods. I have sheep. I'll give you 3 sheep, and you give me some wood and I'll build my house. So that's always evolving. But now it's going to be even more, because it's going to be faster. Uranus likes to go fast. And of course, I say that as if it's a person, but it isn't. It's just that our evolution is speeding up. So what we will see globally is monetary systems are going to change. We are going to actually have contact. Like, I have had contact with so many off-planet beings, and I don't publicize this, but now it's going to be commonplace. They're going to come and visit, and they're going to say hello, and some people will pull out their rifles because they're afraid, because they've never been told what to expect, thinking that we're the only life form in the universe. And then other people are going to suddenly upgrade their vision for the future, their feelings about, when you go to a different country and there's language being spoken you don't understand, and you might feel really insecure. And it always tickled me when I would watch the modern versions of Star Trek, and they would have these little translators, they'd put them on their lapel or in their ear, and someone would be speaking some starseed language, and then suddenly you understand it. So we're going to go through a transformation about understanding different cultures, not just the culture of another person, human on this earth, but from different galaxies. We're going to be contacted, and it's not going to be hidden. So our job is to, because we live in a world of duality, our job is to not focus on who's doing the wrong thing, but what can you do in your own house, in your own mind? That's where it starts, in your own heart, in your own backyard, to make things better for you. And then maybe share that knowledge with someone else. Oh, here's a great way to keep your lettuce fresh so it doesn't rot if your refrigerator breaks down. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I'm not talking, and there's going to be people who refuse to change, so they will meet their opposite energy. And that's why I look at Mars. And the opposite energy is, don't mess with me. And I'm using different language in my mind, but it's not allowed on Facebook or YouTube, so I'm not going to say it. Don't mess with me, because I will fight back. And so energy is going to match energy like never before in the next 20 years. And people will come up with a thing. I remember seeing online, I don't know, when COVID started, and I was on Instagram, I was scrolling through something, I was going to post something, and I saw an FDA post calling people horses because they were taking ivermectin. And it stopped me. And I thought, FDA, why are you even posting a judgment on someone? Ivermectin was the two creators. I think his name was William Campbell, and I can't remember the other man. They won Nobel Peace Prizes for. And one was a microbiologist, I think. And anyway, it's not ivermectin is not just for animals. Ivermectin has a cancer cure. Oh, do we not know about this? Well, I read a lot of health stuff as for my clients who have all kinds of ailments. So I look up stuff. So ivermectin, is a parasite killer. It's for third world countries. It's amazing. It also is now being used and studied by John Hopkins for cancer. So the judgment that you have needs to get tamped down. We need to open our hearts and have a broader view of what's possible, what's happening. And if I feel fear, where can I go within my mind and body to connect to my higher inner being to understand? Look at that heart right there. It looks like a heart to me. Where can I go to understand the heart based, centered me? And then put that love into the world. And so let me just cover briefly for each of the astrological signs what you might expect. Now, this is a general overview. It's just something simple. I just wanted to give you a heads up. We're going to talk more about this as the months progress. But and Mars will be entering retrograde, which means it's not really moving backwards, but from the perspective of the Earth, it looks like it's trailing and moving backwards. And, if we were a horse race around the sun, the Earth is just spinning by, but Mars is going to go that way. It looks like it's moving backwards. It's really not. It's changing its motion. But if you were on Uranus, Mars would not look retrograde or whatever. Okay, but Mars going retrograde, Mars is the planet that represents our momentum. So what's your motivation? That's what you want to think about, because if you are motivated by reaction, especially, in America during this heated political time, there's a lot of it, and people feeling dejected and sad, and people feeling, arrogantly triumphant, and other people just going, shh, it's over. There's an array of feelings, but no matter what, where's your heart? And understanding that for over 2,000 years, not a whole lot has changed. Yes, technology has come up to speed, but it's us who changes things energetically first. So I want you to keep that in mind put hope into your four walls. Put hope into the community. Put hope into the neighborhood, regardless of who people voted for. And we have a friend who lives in London, and they had recently had some voting. And I said, "Are you relieved about the People's Party having won?" Oh my gosh, yes, it was very, people were in turmoil. They didn't know what to do. And so we're not the only ones. This is a global experience of people wanting more freedom and not feeling oppressed by, those with more money or more power, because ultimately Pluto represents your core power. So are you going to use your power to manipulate, to judge, to fight, to argue, to demand that somebody change their mind so that you feel better? That's the old way. So how about you use your power to realize what you can do with your power? And if you are centered, heart, mind, body, soul, spirit, and you are channeling your higher inner being, all you need to do is stand in the room and emit that frequency, which is 50 feet in diameter, by the way, your EMF waves. Just stand there, being in a place of love and centeredness and non-judgment. And then when people walk by within 50 feet of you, they feel that. And that's how you can ultimately affect change and transformation. Now, if somebody wants to save the world and they're so hyper woke with their signs and their, I only wear linen and whatever they're doing, wait, if that makes them happy, that's fantastic. But if they come to my door and they accuse me of something, then of course I won't, because that won't happen to me personally, because I'm not judging anybody. Somebody comes to the door and says, "Hey, here's the thing." I go, "Oh, thanks for stopping by. I'm really not interested, but I wish you well. I wish you well. How can you transform your world?" So, we got some comments here. I'm sorry. What's going on? Before I get to the people, let's say hi. Hi, Christy. Hi, Erica. Hello, Boris. Salam alaikum. Nikki, good morning. You're an Aquarius. Okay, cool. Our kid's an Aquarius rising. My husband's an Aquarius moon. There's going to be a lot of action around us in our world. We are getting as well, it seems, more than before. Yes, we are. We are channeling. Yes, and some people are attempting to poison us because it makes the bottom line is money. But that doesn't affect me. If I find something out, I stop it. I turn my attention away from it and I put it on something that is positive and healthy. If we focus on the things that are not healthy, well, if you want to change something and somebody steps on your toes, you can say, "Excuse me, but I don't appreciate that." That's a boundary. If someone makes a product and you find out that it has, ingredients, or it's on the backs of children in a foreign country, what's your biggest voice? Because they have a bottom line, which is financial. You don't buy that product. That's it. Boycotting goes back to thousands of years. Yeah. So we do have power. Good morning, Scarlett. You got your earbud in. Okay, we won't talk too loud because you're at work. We won't tell anyone. And Scarlett, I hope you're enjoying my program. Scarlett is one of my students. And let's see, blah, blah. Let's see. More affordable for the average person. They just calculate the way. Yes. Yes. Hi, Brittany. Wow. You haven't been around in a while. I remember Brittany and Veronica, another Aquarius. Okay. So let's go to, thank you, Scarlett. I appreciate you. All right. Let's go to, and tell me, folks, where are you from and what's your sun sign? And if you know your rising sign, that's cool too. I'm going to start with Pluto. I just have a few little notes here. I'm going to start with Pluto in Aquarius for each of the signs. Again, we're going to talk about this in the months and years to come until it becomes old hat. And you're like, "Oh, that old thing." Oh, that old story. Okay, we're going to start with Pluto in Aquarius for Aquarius. And you can see here, I have to move my mouse. Pluto in Aquarius for Pluto. And oops, if I click on it, it gives me info. So this is general reading, by the way. When Pluto is in your sign, Aquarius, or sun, rising, and moon, you feel it to the degree that you are resisting transformation. So please be aware, if you have a Pluto sun sign, if you have an Aquarius sun sign, rising sign, or moon sign, that you're going to be faced with your own personality, your own feelings about something, deep down, what you were trained to believe from early on. It's transforming. And it doesn't mean it's positive, negative, or neutral. It just means whatever you have on it, it's going to thwart your progress, limit you, and or open you up to a new understanding of your own power. So It is true that if you are an Aquarius rising sign, that when Pluto enters Aquarius in the next few years, and I would say the next 7 years, you've already been feeling it because we look at a conjunction within 8 degrees. So you've already been feeling it in Capricorn, Pluto rising sign especially, but sun and moon as well, that something needs to change. And sometimes this transformation equals the death of a way of being is the best way I can put it. And sometimes people leave the earth in their natural state. And it could be grandpa's ready to go or an old friend you just don't vibe with anymore and they leave. So just take it lightly um, as much as you can and seek moments of peace and solace so that so you don't have Aquarius, sun, rising, moon, so that you don't stack too much to do to avoid what's happening. Music is a big part, and vibrational healing is a big part of Aquarius and Uranus energy. So think about what you can do to help yourself to be more present with how you feel in order to transform that moment. Okay, Aquarius. Now, Pisces. Oh, hi, Lucia. Or Lucia. If you're from, oh, you're in Atlanta. I read something differently. I read Argentina. I don't know why. And Junior Captain Ramos. Oh, an Aquarian. Okay. Take it light. Pisces. This represents your second house, and that has a lot to do with your finances, your self-worth mostly, but what you deem as an income. So Pisces, sun, rising, and moon, um, it's going to feel a little bit sudden, perhaps, because you don't always move as fast as some of the other signs, but um, you're going to be looking at what you deem, I would say, valuable. What's your most valuable input? How can you get back what you've put into something? So if the percentage is you give at 90%, but you only get back 10, I want you to recalibrate that. Pisces, sun, rising, and moon, because your value is not about what you make financially. Yeah, okay, in mundane astrology. But bigger than that, it's how you value your talents, your services, your contribution so that you can bring the money in. And if you're someone who's looking to retire or your status has changed, maybe you went from single to married to a parent to grandparent, to working to not working, or just finishing college and starting a job. So Pisces, sun, rising, and moon, really put your emphasis on what you're worth and set the boundaries in a healthy way. So do research. If someone says, oh, here's an offer for you. I see your qualifications. You're really great. Here's an offer for you. And you say, oh, I'm so excited just to have a job. That's okay to say, but really know your worth so that you can say, well, of the other candidates, why would you choose me? You can ask these questions in an interview. Or if you're looking to make a second income, you might think, oh, I've always wanted to, make music, or, look into the metaphysical aspect of things. Then you're going to start to explore that. Okay. Next, we have Aries. All right. Pluto and Aquarius for you. I just totally went absolutely blank. Pluto in Aquarius. I went totally blank, Aries. I'm so sorry. What? There must be incoming. What's incoming? I don't know. I want you to think about how you think, Aries, sun, rising, and moon, and what you say because of how you think, your perceptions, your beliefs. What are you thinking right now? What are you thinking right now? This is the first time I've ever gone blank with Aries. I don't, I don't get it. Okay. Well, I'm going to feel that out. Um, your status has changed. You know, this is going to mess up my timestamps, but your status has changed with career and life direction, Aries. So your perceptions and what you're thinking right now are going to be really interesting because what is coming through? What? Did you just get married? Did you just get divorced? Did you just start a company, an industry? Are you retired? But you're thinking about the possibility of freedom for your future. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm sorry to say, but Aries, that's all that's coming through. Wow. Okay. Okay. Hang on. All right, we're going to move on to Taurus. Sorry about that, Aries. That's all I heard. That was a very abrupt kind of thing that happened. So, Taurus, I want you to look at the well, you have Uranus in Taurus right now, which is leaving next year. So you've gone through a lot of changes, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, and really, higher consciousness has come into play. Who you are on the inside, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, is someone who has developed and is continuing to develop your personality. And it can be through a study course, it can be through a teaching course, it can be you as the teacher, you transforming how you really perceive things, but from maybe, let's say, a meditation practice. Or I know a Taurus who is just recently retired, and they're in Aries rising, and they've taken up painting and excelling at it and finding freedom in it and finding a new way of expressing themselves. So what you're about to do in the next 19 years, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, really is to put something into the world, because I'm getting ninth house vibes for you, even though I look at fourth house. So 4 and 9, that's who you are in the world, in your four walls, who you are. But bigger than that is what you're putting into the world in the next 19 years. So if you wanted to create something, a program, a product, learn more about science, teach something, learn something, this is really your time to shine. And to overcome those fears of, oh, I'm too old, or I don't have enough money, or who's going to listen, or what the heck do I know? Just look out the window. The seasons change, and so do you. So Taurus, sun, rising, and moon, keep your faith on who you are becoming, not who you were. Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. We have some finances to take care of, and it might deal with family. I'm getting 5th and 8th house vibes for you. So if you've recently undergone, with Pluto there, if you've undergone a split in something, a split, divorce, maybe you ended a job and now you're collecting, your due, or maybe you just got a promotion, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. But, and I have to make a note of this too, because if someone has passed away in your world and the family is fighting over the estate, think about that. Think about how much you want to fight. Now, it can be a matter of pride, or it can be a matter of justice. It can be a matter of, I'm not going to allow someone to take something from me that belongs to me. But how far are you willing to go if it affects your health, your well-being, your connection to your higher inner being? Gemini, the fifth house deals with emotions around romance and children, and also creativity, doing something for yourself. The eighth house deals with the finances with others and estate planning, so joint resources. So if you just found out that your insurance company has been skimming off the top and you're just outraged and you want to fight them and go to court, and okay, once the outrage settles, what can you do for yourself and your family and your children to research the best way to proceed? I mean, I'm getting very oddly specific scenarios for the Gemini folk, and also that there is a trauma from the family that you need to work out. And the trauma could have been something from childhood. So, and that could be propelling you. I mean, that's for everyone. Everybody has this sensation of, oh, mom abandoned me, and that's why I only attract women who talk about themselves or whatever. So you can work out these patterns, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, because the fifth and the eighth houses for you are, they're not confusing, but they put stress on you to be the leader, to take charge and then fight for your rights, so that the split, whatever it is, and you're a Gemini, so there's a split to begin with, that you see upper, you see lower. You embody both halves and you see different perspectives, but now it feels like it's going to be a little bit more of an emotional time for you to settle. So just take into account that you can meditate and find the center right in your heart space. Cancer. Yeah. We're just leaving Capricorn. So some Cancers might have Pluto and Aquarius in their seventh house, sixth house. Seventh house, I'm getting for a lot. Even though we're right at the cusp of Capricorn, which is your exact opposite. So again, finances with others, how you deem yourself worthy, how much inequality there is in your world. When I look at, I have a lot of Cancer people in my life. My kid's a Cancer moon. My husband's a Cancer sun. The feeling state sometimes with Pluto and Aquarius can become so hypersensitive that you put yourself at the center of everything. Like someone cancels an event and you think, did I offend them? Did I do something wrong? Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. So if you start to feel like you're the one who's responsible for someone else's behavior, you need a reality check. So counseling always helps, but not to stay in it forever and keep talking about, whatever's going on, because it just perpetuates the issue. But when I see Cancer opposing Capricorn and moving into Aquarius, I'm seeing money with others, just like the Gemini vibe. But where do you put yourself in the process? If you have a partnership, a business partnership, if you're thinking, oh, they're not pulling their weight, or I have to end this partnership isn't working for me. It just come from the heart and speak your mind. And if you have a spouse who overspends and you're constantly working to make up the difference, that calls for a conversation. So Cancer, sun, rising, and moon, we're looking at Pluto and Aquarius bringing up the truth for you, and in order to express it. Not always an easy thing, but stay in your heart. Leo, your exact opposite. Okay. Your exact opposite is Pluto and Aquarius. We are going to go head to head, fist to fist with some things. And it can mean also that a part of you, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, it can mean a part of you is cutting ties to the past. in a quite dramatic way. It can be that someone in your family leaves your life, because this also is, if this is the first house, Leo, this would be the seventh house, Aquarius. But it's not so much, it can be a marriage, it can deal with a marriage, and the split of a marriage, but I'm feeling more like someone in your world in the next, I mean, it's inevitable that people are going to pass away, right? So it's no big shakes, no great news. But when it happens, when it actually happens, it makes you ponder, did I do everything I could have done? Who else am I? I'm next on the, when my parents both passed, my dad 18 years ago ish, my mom almost 7 years ago. And I said to my sister, oh, okay, we're orphans now, but we're next up on the ladder. It's our responsibility now to be even better at who we are as an example, because we're the elders now. So Leo, sun, rising, and moon, you might feel like you have to break ties at work, emotionally, maritally, business wise. And it can also mean that you're involving more technology to upgrade yourself, to become more aware of what's possible. So if you had to get a job, now you're moving toward understanding how AI works. A lot of people resist it, and it's the way of the future, just like telephones were the way of the future. And just to know where you feel safe, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, and to really express that part of you that is ready to become more. That's going to be, first, you have to clean out your closets. And I mean that literally. Go through your closets, your drawers, cupboards, get rid of stuff that doesn't belong there. And then you're going to be able to breathe freer, and you're going to let go of the past in a much easier way. And then you have to have those conversations that might not feel good and set those boundaries. I'm getting a theme here for every sign. Virgo, sun, rising, and moon. I pick up several things. I'm not sure if this has to do with your spouse, an income, or a lack of a spouse, if you went through a divorce or your spouse passed on, and it's about collecting benefits, or now having to get a job, or if it's about you upgrading your potential for intimacy. If you're going to allow that into your world, will you allow intimacy into your world, Virgo, sun, rising, and moon? And it's not always easy, but there's going to be a healing, I feel, especially depending on your rising sign. But if you are a Virgo rising, you'll feel it sooner. A healing with how you handle money, what you believe is precious, and how to invest more into yourself. Because the thing that I look at with Virgos is that they can be very creative, even with finance. I know a Virgo who recently, not recently, but within the past year plus, got a job after having a career in something completely different. And I said, how are you doing? Do you love it? Do you like it? Is it working for you? Yes, because it's about contributing and helping the less fortunate populace in their state. And I said, is it something you'd want to do more of, or take on a different position in the company? The possibility was there, they said to me, but I'm just kind of relaxing now in the fact that I can do my thing. I can help others, and I don't have to put on more pressure to take on that higher position, because I'm still part of the group and the community and the company, and I can back off a little bit. So Virgo, sun, rising, and moon, if you're not ready to move up in the world, that's okay, whatever moving up means. But if you need time for you to really just kind of feel out what's coming your way, that's the most zen place ever. I love that. Meditate more. I would highly recommend Virgo meditate more. And I am all for Joe Dispenza meditations because you go into the quantum much faster than not. And the quantum is where pure conscious love is. And that is where all matter comes from. So, Virgo, instead of getting nitpicky about something that didn't work, for those of you who are focused on that, look at what is possible and what you're connected to. And I think Pluto in Aquarius is going to be that bright light shining in your face, going, I didn't know that existed. I didn't know that was possible, or I read about it, heard about it, but never wanted to venture there. So freeing up your time in one area is going to help you in another. Libra. Okay, Libra, sun, rising, and moon. What's changing in your four walls that you feel might affect your work status or your living status? Are you working from abroad? Are you thinking of moving? You know, everything. Your work, it's like if you have divorced yourself of a business or a city, a community, people are working more overseas and finding that, oh, wow, lifestyles are so different. Bustling cities around the world are bustling cities, but the attitude of the locals in different places can take on different meaning for you now. Or it can deal with Libra, sun, rising, and moon being in your home environment. What's your home environment feeling like right now? And I think that if you're also cleaning out your closets, emotional closets as well, it's time for you to figure out what are the next steps? What's the plan? What is it that you want to be doing? Because I'm picking up home, I'm picking up contracts for you, legal matters, and also what it looks like to change policies, your own personal policy. Like, okay, I'm no longer going to allow this. But why did I attract that in the first place? Libra, sun, rising, and moon says, I don't know. Maybe so I can stand up. I have to divorce myself of the people that behave a certain way, you might say. But deep down, you're the one who's attracting these people. And that's true for everyone. So think about what that can mean for you and how you can become more empowered with Pluto and Aquarius over the next 19, 20 years to make a commitment to yourself and to have an opinion, but not to be such a hard ass about it, or not to be so like, yeah, sure, that's fine. And then you walk away grumbling. No extremes, Libra, sun, rising, and moon. The extremes are not serving you. They show you perspective and different points of view, but they're not serving you now. And so it's going to help you. Libra and Taurus are both guided by Venus, and Venus is going retrograde in 2025 in the springtime. Libra and Taurus, I'm talking to you too. Again, I'm screwing up my timestamps. But Libra, you have to go deep within and ask yourself, where will you not allow yourself to be vulnerable and in harmony? That's what Pluto's really going to bring up for you. And possible some other issues as well that just snuck in there at the end. Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. I want to know what you're thinking and how you're thinking and why. What's going on in there? Really? What's the plan in your mind, the perception? People say, I say communication. What's communication? And people say, oh, you talk. And communication is your perception and your beliefs. So Scorpio, if you have a career, a heart set on a career this way, but deep down your heart is telling you something different, it's time to really bridge those gaps and stop telling yourself the limiting things that you might have been telling yourself the past 19 years. Oh, they don't want people like me, or I'm overqualified, or oh, I just can't stand this job anymore. Or I just want to go home and do this thing and change the world from, sewing crafts. It's like, okay, well, why not make a business out of it? Well, where am I going to get the money from? And where it, I'm sensing, I think Pluto in Aquarius for everyone is some sort of divorce from a way of being, because I get the word divorce again. So if it's a divorce from a career, Scorpio, a divorce from a thought pattern that creates those kinds of careers, that's where you're going. That's where you're headed. Scorpio sun, rising, and moon. And Scorpio moon, you may have already retired. Scorpio rising, you may be looking at the way I think is creating my reality. How do I think differently? How can I think differently? And Scorpio sun might be thinking, I just want to have a life where I'm happy. I just want to be happy now. I've worked so hard, Scorpio sun sign has said. I've worked so hard and I'm still working hard. How can it be easier? How can it be easier? Well, my feeling is that incorporating technology into your world, Scorpio sun, rising, and moon, is going to help you facilitate the process. And that can be watching a movie that alters your perception. Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. I recommend watching the movie About Time with Rachel McAdams. And just looking at, if I could go somewhere and change something in the past, which you can't, what would I have changed? Why am I carrying it with me? Why don't I let that go? And you're going to go deeper, because Pluto, originally, Pluto and Mars were your guides. So think about that and go a little bit deeper with technology, whether that's music, it's movies, it's meditation podcasts, that kind of thing. I think that's going to help you tremendously. Sagittarius. Okay. Saggie. You had Pluto in Aquarius about 30 years ago, 25 to 35 years ago. And it was a turning point. You saw what you didn't want. You certainly did. And now it's about your worth. It's about finances. It's about, who do you want to work with and why? Who's your team? Who's got your back? What are your dreams about? And where are you going to put those resources, time, energy, money? Where will you put those resources, Sagittarius, sun, rising, and moon, into the group of people that's going to help you facilitate your dream coming true? It can mean your income shoots, through the roof. It depends on your focus. But if you make it about stuff, you're going to lose stuff. It's not about stuff. It's about, yes, your worth, but what do you value? Much like I was talking to, who was I talking to? Taurus? Pisces. I was talking to Pisces about this as well. But your, the psychology behind your worth, Sagittarius, sun, rising, and moon, also Pisces. I'm screwing up my timestamps right now. I'm going to recommend everybody listen to everything. Sagittarius, I have known so many Saggies who polarize. It's like, got to get moving, got to keep going, got to keep learning. And I love metaphysics, or it's the exact opposite of, I'm a science person and I'm going to sit still until I understand this. And I don't know what you're doing or why. It was a Sagittarian who once said to me, what's the proof behind your work? This is the first time I'd ever met this person. And I said, the proof behind my work, the way people feel and how they tell me they feel. That's my proof. What are your qualifications for this? I was asked. I'm a nurturer, connector. I'm an empath. These are my qualifications. That was 40 years ago. I was so shocked by the question. And then my immediate question after that was, what sign are you? I said Sagittarius. And in my mind, I said, oh, of course you are. Of course you are. Sag, this group of people that you collude with, are there any people? You want to make sure that there's equality happening because that's part of your representation of your worth and the validation of your worth. So if you're looking to increase business, if you're looking to be more involved in family matters or in making more money or making strides, it's not always about cash. Sometimes it's about the value you place on an item, like, oh, I value this. Oh, it's green. Look at that. That's freaky. So it's green. So the green screen's not letting me do that. So I value my wand, my Ash Harry Potter wand. So if you value that and you know people who also value that, what could you do with that? That's what you're going to be thinking about. Where could I go with that? If you do, now who's a Saggie here? Christy, are you a Sag? Scarlett, you're a Scorpio? I can't remember. Oh, Pisces, Sag. Okay, so Christy is a Sag rising. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. It's like you do tarot, you do readings. What kind of clientele do you want to attract? Who are your people? Do you want the people who are broke? No. Do you want the people that you can help? Of course. But let's put that together. Let's start to imagine you are actually, and this is for everyone, start to imagine you're getting the thing and it feels exhilarating and you're so excited because here it comes and I feel it. And then suddenly they start to come and they start to show up. And then you're going to have to fine tune your boundaries because people in business will want more from you if they love your work. And you go, okay, we can book another session instead of, all right, I'll give you another 20 minutes on the house. Well, that's going to exhaust you. So Pluto in Aquarius is more about seeing where you're putting your energy and how much you want to put into the world at all. Because you don't have to, right? Yes. Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. We are doing the happy dance. Okay, because Aquarius is on its way and we wish you well. What a freaking ride that was. Yeah? Yes. I am not the person I was 20 years ago. I am not even a semblance of the person. My body has healed. My mind has changed. Everything is altered. Everything is different. So, Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. What are you going to do now? How will you take that psychological kick in the tuchus that you had in the past 20 years and apply it to your new coming out party? And maybe you are actually coming out. Maybe you decided years ago, and I have many clients who it's like they raised their families and then they realized, I am not this person. I'm gay, I'm trans, I'm bi, I'm whatever. I'm done. I'm done with business. I'm done with those people. I'm done. So now that you know what's over, what would you like to embrace? Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. How about a little more fun, a little more play, a little bit more changing your style? How about exploring what you were too afraid to explore in the past 20 years? Now that you've got, new clothes, new hairdo, new glasses, the way that you walk into a room, how you present yourself. Your body is healing even more in the next 20 years. So you thought it was over? It's not, because now you can enter the quantum so much more easily. Listen, this is for everybody. The more you meditate, the higher your vibration, the sooner you connect with off planet, the higher inner being. I have a friend, a student friend, and I say, how's the program going? She bought the Bodhi system to increase her awareness because she wants to become a channel. And I said, you already are a channel. Now you're just going to get over yourself. And that thing that you want so much. And she said, I was having a rough day the other day. And she's a very happy, sunny person. She said, I'm having a rough day the other day. I don't know. So I prayed to my angels and I said, and she said, and then it took about an hour, but I suddenly started to feel really great. And I said, okay, when you finish the Bodhi system, what I want you to do is, instead of reaching out to passed on loved ones, starseed, angels, team and spirit, talk directly to your higher inner being. That's where the power is. Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. You're going to start to see things, and you've been seeing things, but I mean intuitively seeing things, knowing things. And then asking yourself, am I crazy? No, I was crazy. This is not crazy, because you will be validated. And so when the civilizations from other planetary systems make themselves known, you might be the first ones to feel it. You and Aquarius. I got to put in Pisces there too. So, Scarlett, yes, I asked you. Your Cap, Sag rising. Okay. It was a Sag, not Scorpio. Okay. So Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon, this is your awakening to understand the vibrational reality of reality and what consciousness can do. There are people who can, like Wim Hof, go into near frozen water temperatures and just, hang out, come out 3 minutes later, 10 minutes later, and go, oh, who's ready for a sandwich? It's like, how did they do that? I don't know how they do. Well, you might find out. You might actually start exploring vibrational healing methods. So if you're just at the beginning, Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon, it can be, oh, I read about this thing where you can meditate and do these mudras. Okay, mudras, your thumbs connected to your first finger equals wisdom. And it's just that simple for some people. There are people more advanced on the spectrum with Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon, and they might say, I am painting spirit art. I look at someone, I see their spirit, I paint the painting, and I sell it in a museum or at a trade show or whatever, cosplay, fair, art con, whatever. And so you're going to go to the next level of you, and you're going to realize it's not about you taking it on anymore. Right? It's not your job anymore to be like the person who helps everybody all the time. Let's look at you now in the mirror. Junior Captain, thank you for the question. I don't do private readings. So that's why I'm talking to each of the signs right now. Okay, so see, Scarlett says, I'm actually there. I'm feeling and working towards freedom. I love it. It's just the beginning, because now it's about immersing yourself. And this is for everyone. Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. Yes. It is about you embracing the fact that you are a spirit. Now, people see consciousness as, the mind or the thought, and the spirit is in the body. My friends, the biological form is in the spirit. Did that just blow somebody's mind out there? Well, it's like, imagine water, and the fish are in the water, and the fish are thinking, gosh, I wish I were water. I was like, well, you are. You are water, but the physical manifestation of you is a fish, or in our case, humans. We are embodied and embraced by the soul, by the spirit, having a physical experience. So Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon, just be as practical and simple as possible. And this is for everyone now, wrapping this up. What is the moment I go from happy to sad? What is that moment? Get granular, get really like in there and think about that. What is the moment I go from high to low? What just happened? Did I need food, water, supplements? Am I treating my biology really well? Because if I eat like 6 bags of potato chips, have a beer, and then go to meditate, you're really not going to raise your vibration very much. And that's not a judgment. It's just a fact. So care for your body. Have treats. I just made a cranberry. I didn't know that you could. I'm a keto person. So I, for the first time, have had cranberries, because I could have 4 cranberries in a muffin and it's still keto. There's only 1 sugar. That's amazing. That blew my mind the other day. I was like, what? And I got that from the website All Day Long. I Dream About Food. I love that title. And her name is Carolyn, and she's a keto person. I don't use a lot of her ingredients. I use my own that I think are better for my body, but just exploring what's next for you, because it's not just what you think, it's how you feel. Feeling is the vibration that sets the matter into motion, my friends. Now, on that note, I'm going to pull one final card, and I want to just say thank you so much for being here. I will be putting out emails. You can go to, I have to update my website. I've been saying that for over a year, but you can go to astrologymojo.com and sign up for the newsletter. And what I really need to be doing now is focused on getting out the holiday reading special. So I'll be doing that, sending out links. So if you're on my newsletter, you'll get those emails. I'll post it in Facebook and in YouTube as well. The holiday reading special will be on its way soon. So this way you can book for yourself, or you can book for a gift for someone. And let's just pull one more card. House 11. We're all in this together, people. House 11 is community. House 11, friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. Look at us, birds of a feather, folks. You are here. Thank you. Thank you. Birds of a feather, my friends. We're all in this together. And if we don't work together, we don't work at all. So just think on that. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate you. I'm sending you love and light and energy. And please come back. Let's see, hang on. Oh, the 21st, I won't be here, but I'll be back on the 28th for the oracle reading for December. Can you believe it? It's December already. So come back on the 28th. I'll be here doing an oracle reading. You get to choose your image, and we'll take it from there. As always, my friends, I wish you peace, and I'll see you next time.